On January 25th, I began my senior level placement for my literacy course at MSU. This placement was different from any other I have had in that our course was based on site in the school. We met every Monday in the school library after our individual placements. This placement was based in Pinecrest Elementary in East Lansing, Michigan. My specific placement was in a third grade classroom full of diverse learners, and my mentor teacher, whom has experience in teaching general education and specialization in literacy. Before taking this course, I thought of literacy as encompassing only aspects of reading and writing. I believed that students would be taught how to read, and they would then be taught strategies for comprehension, and I believed writing was a way to exemplify their knowledge on paper. However, I now believe literacy instruction should include several aspects. These areas of instruction would include writing, reading, speaking, creating, etc. Thus, the teacher needs to provide many opportunities for the students to practice these skills. The opportunities would include personal time for writing, read-alongs, individual reading, creative hubs, and so on. The teacher needs to be mindful that every student learns differently and will excel in different areas. This change of mindset stems from my experience in placements as well as discussions from my time in the course. In order to learn about some of the students in my placement, I carried out a writing lesson with them. Because of course requirements and course text, I implemented a writing workshop. This consisted of reading a passage from a novel that exemplified a specific skill in writing, practicing the skill along with the students, and then handing off the torch to them as they wrote freely for several minutes. Their work was then collected, and if they were my own students, I could have used this information to better understand them as writers and support them in their journey to improve their writing. Writing can be a very personal and fragile experience. Thus, as an instructor, I would want to make it as comfortable and safe for my students as possible. I would incorporate several aspects of a writing workshop to foster this environment. Fletcher and Portaluppi spent an entire chapter in their book talking about the importance of time and space during workshop. They use this opportunity to discuss the many happenings in a workshop. For example, students could be drafting, proofreading, brainstorming, or even conferring with another student. Thus, in my future classroom, I would hope to see these things happening in my room during workshop. I would also incorporate an inviting space for students to work in, and they should be allowed to find a spot in the room that they feel most comfortable working in. Moreover, a typical day of writing instruction would be a writing workshop. I would do this instead of lecturing the entire time because students would be able to focus on topics that interest them while also demonstrating their knowledge of writing skills and practices on their own terms. In order to teach writing effectively, I would have many lessons before students were released to write on their own. This would foster inspiration for student work as well as guided practice of incorporating a specific skill. During writing time, I would make time to confer with students in order to informally assess where they are in their understanding of specific skills as well. This could be done in a typical day's instruction. During the beginning of writing instruction, students should either be listening to me read a story aloud or they should be discussing a skill to be used in their future writing. While writing time is allotted, students should either be working independently or conferring with one another on their pieces. Thus, there will be a slight hum in the classroom, and if students are comfortable, there may even be relaxing music playing in the background. I too would be walking around and conferring with students as they write in a space that suits their needs. In the future, I am going to view literacy, learning, and teaching as a creative, open experience. This experience will be implemented through open-ended high-level discussions as well as guided practice. In my own classroom, students will be playing a major role in their own and each other's understandings while I facilitate accordingly.